still not enough money. So what have we allowed our government to do? Well, if you need some money, just go ahead and print it. It's okay, print it. The dollar won't go down in value. There'll be no inflation. Don't worry about it. And then they tell me that monetary policy is complex. You know, doesn't it make a lot of sense? If you print a lot of money, it's going to lose its value. It's not too complicated. And once young people understand this and realize the significance of all this, I am really impressed that so many young people agree with the Constitution. That there is no authority for the Federal Reserve System, and there's good reason we ought to get rid of the Federal Reserve System. Really early on in our history, immediately after the Constitution was passed, there was always an attack on those who wanted big centralized government, and of course the Hamiltonians fought with the Jeffersonians, and then Hamilton was able to institutionalize the first national bank. Jefferson got rid of it. It happened again. We had another national bank. Jackson got rid of it. Don't you think it's about time we have a president that will get rid of the third national bank? The ideas of the Constitution, limited government, these are all very popular ideas. I've been talking about it for a few years, maybe like 25 or 30 years. Never really expected a lot to happen. Now, like I said, I was a skeptic. I did not believe that much would come because I didn't know how big the remnant of those who were the true believers and who were just sitting by wondering if we'd ever have another chance. And also, I didn't know how people like you, the younger generation, would respond. And I didn't give you enough credit. I thought, no, not to. But to me, it's just been so delightful to find out that you do care and that you're not asking for stuff. You're asking for your freedom. This is what's so exciting about what's happening today. In order for us to get back on track, we have to do a couple things. If we could wave a wand, believe me, I would wave a wand and I would just say, gone. You know, gone with the Federal Reserve. Gone with the IRS. Out of the United Nations. That's not going to happen. But one time I said, you know, I don't think we should get rid of the Federal Reserve in one day because we should work our way out. And somebody, I said, it might take a couple of weeks. But no, there are ways to work these out without making conditions worse. But if we don't do anything, if your generation doesn't do anything, you're going to get a mess. You already see the mess coming. How many in here can stand up and wave a flag and say, don't tinker with Social Security because I want to depend on Social Security when I retire? Nobody believes that. And you know that your numbers are smaller and the baby boomers are retiring and they want you to work hard so they can tax you. I mean, unless something changes, you're in for bad times, a lower standard of living. And that's what I want to prevent. Now, how do we work our way out of it? We can't wave a wand. What we do, we have to have significant changes. Yes, and they're not tinkering. You just can't tinker with this. You've got to have significant changes. Whether it's domestic policy or whether it's foreign policy or monetary policy, we have to get off this track that we're on. And I find that the easiest place to make changes would be in foreign policy. And this is the reason I believe we need to be able to save not a million or hundreds of millions or a billion or two. We literally could save hundreds of billions of dollars by giving up our empire and bringing our troops home. You know, today, the big news, of course, was Bhutto being killed in Pakistan. It's utter tragedy, but not totally unpredictable. And if it was a country someplace in the world that we had never heard of and never been to or never involved in, it would be one thing. But we have been very much involved in Pakistan for years and years and years. I mean, it is essentially a puppet government. You know, Musharraf is somebody that we prop up. He gets support from 8% of the Pakistani people. And how much money, of your money, did he get from you and your families over the last 8 years? $10 billion. I mean, that's what we were paying to bribe him to listen to us and be our guy in Pakistan. And, but nobody supported him. When you have a puppet government in that region of the world, believe me, just as we would react, the individuals of that country react and they don't like it. And some people thrive on chaos. And that's what was created today, chaos, because they don't like the type of government there. It's not a democratically elected government. Matter of fact, Bashar was a dictator who overthrew an elected government. But we're in the middle of that. So today, most of the candidates were asked what we would do and you know, how we would manage it. Everybody was going to, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, you got to be strong, you got to be tough. And, you know, I said, why don't we let the Pakistanis decide what kind of government they want?